Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Modi with OddsJam. What we're going to do in this video, I got some MLB player props for you guys that I think are really good. Obviously, pulled from the OddsJam Positive EV page, which is where I get all of my plays from. All of these bets are mathematically profitable with an edge given to you by using OddsJam and pulled from the OddsJam perfect line, which you see right here. This line is pulled from the most accurate bookmaker in the world in terms of pricing lines. These odds are generally going to be the most accurate in terms of just how lines are priced. It's got the most efficient betting market. So anywhere in which you see an OddsJam line, it's going to be viewed as the quote-unquote true line. Of course, before betting anything, you need to remove the VIG, which you see here, the no VIG odds. The VIG is essentially just the juice that sportsbooks price up odds themselves. It's how they make all their money. They don't charge a transaction fee. Instead, they just juice up the odds a little bit. So it's important to remove the VIG to find out what the true line of a wager is, which is exactly what the OddsJam page does. And then it tells you exactly what your profit margin is. So that is what this percent is here. It's essentially just your profit margin. So it's not how much profit you're going to make for this specific bet, just how much you should figure to make over time if this bet was placed over and over again. And that's exactly how the positive EV page works. Doesn't necessarily mean that every single play on here is worthy of being taken. Of course, you need to do your own research and look into the odds and look into the lines and see whether something is truly worth placing or not, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I found one here in the Astros versus White Sox game, Michael Brantley over 1.5 total bases. So just to look in the math on this one a little bit, the OddsJam line prices this at -103. Now, if you remove the VIG, it's priced at +111, closer to +112. So let's call it +112. The odds that we would be taking it at are on BetMGM at +125. So that gap between +111 and +125, that is what has positive expected value, and in this case, a profit margin of roughly 6.25%. So for player props, I mostly stick to anything 6% and above because player props have inherently a little more variance, a little bit wider variance. So that's why I just set the EV percentage at 6% and up. And also this column here, market width, is something. This number essentially is what we use to calculate confidence in what the OddsJam line is pricing stuff at. The lower number, the better. For player prop, anything below 40 is within range. So this Michael Brantley one at 34 is perfect. So the next thing I like to do is open it up in a new tab, see what all the sports books are pricing it at. The goal of doing this is just to understand whether we are truly getting a discrepancy or not, or if maybe this is a situation in which the OddsJam line is actually incorrect. But here is not one of those situations. This +125 is the clear outlier. There are two books that have it kind of close in the teens, +116, +110. But FanDuel, which is one of the sharper books in the world, has it at +105. We see +100 over here, showing that this +125 is a true outlier, which is why it's something that I am comfortable taking. So the next thing that I decide for player props is how much exactly to put on. And for player props, I use the Kelly criterion method. I think this is a really great way to price a bet because it takes into account all of the information at hand. The odds are just the odds that you're placing it at. The win percentage is based on the OddsJam line. So funny little thing about sportsbooks, whenever they price odds, they're essentially just placing a win percentage associated with those odds. So basically, the OddsJam line is saying that this bet has a 47.22% chance of hitting. So it takes into account all that information. It gives you an actual amount to wager, which is incredibly helpful because you don't have to do any thought at all. You know exactly how much to put on this one. Now, another thing I like to do for player props is look at projections and look at trends just to kind of get an idea of whether I think this could possibly be a situation in which the lines would actually move against me. In this one, I did like it. The reason why is because, so Michael Brantley has gone over this total in two games in a row. For batters, I kind of look for almost exact immediate trends because hitting is such a mental part of baseball that I think if someone is on a streak, I kind of would just like to avoid them. If someone's on a cold streak, I'd like to avoid them. If someone's on a hot streak, I'd like to back them. Now, he is going against Lucas Giolito, who is a stud, which makes me a little nervous, but the plus 125 odds take that into account. So I'm going to go ahead, lock this one in. The OddsJam bet tracker told me to put roughly, I rounded this one up to 65. So that's exactly what I put on it. As you can see, the bet has been placed. So now what I need to do is just add this to my bet tracker. The bet tracker is something that OddsJam offers for free. All you need to do, just click the plus button and it pulls up everything and you just click the odds from there. I think it is a really helpful tool to just track exactly what it sounds like. Track your bets, understand whether you're profitable or not. It tells you whether you are currently beating the closing line or not, which is really helpful. That's what these red and green numbers are. Green equals good, red equals bad. And then, of course, if you go to your homepage, all this information is pulled from the OddsJam bet tracker. So again, it's a really helpful tool. Obviously, hoping to turn things around after having my worst stretch since I started using OddsJam. That's all because of baseball. So I'm hoping to turn things around on baseball. And my player prop betting strategy is something that I am starting with. So that is going to be my first official play is the Michael Brantley over 1.5 bases. So here's an interesting situation where Hunter Green over is a positive EV play, as well as Hunter Green under. So this is actually a really good example to tell you guys what I would do in a situation like this. And I actually go off of the market width. So in this case, the over is priced at 41 in terms of market width, which is above the range that I like to choose. So this one at 30 is much more manageable. So the odds and the math behind this one, Hunter Green under 6.5 strikeouts against the Brewers. So we'd be taking it at DraftKings at plus 120 odds. The OddsJam line has this at minus 115 both ways, which adds up to 30 cents in market width, which also means they think this bet roughly has a 50% chance of hitting. They have it at exactly 50-50. It's a coin flip, essentially, and we're getting it at plus 120 odds. So we're getting a bet that has inherent win percentage of 50% all the way up at plus 120. So my calculator is going to tell me to bet a lot more on this one, 4.17% of my bankroll. Now for player props, I rarely go above 4%. I rarely go above 3% of my bankroll. I never ever go above 4% of my bankroll, specifically on a player prop. It's just too much variance associated with it. And it's really rare that I even go above 3%. So any situation like this where it tells me to put more than 3%, I just round down. So I'm actually going to put 3% of my bankroll on this one. I'm going to put $75. Hunter Green has been hot in his past couple starts. I don't put as much emphasis into that as I do batting, because pitchers pitch every 5 games. So they don't pitch every day like hitters do. And I have projections having him under this amount, closer to 5.5 than 6.5. So I'm going to put 75 on this one. Hunter Green, of course, under 6.5 strikeouts plus 120 odds. This was a $75 play. Place bet, and we are good to go. So those are going to be my 2 MLB player props that I'm taking. $75 on this one. And that's all I got for you. Just those 2 player props. So if you're tailing, would love to hear it. Comment in the video. Let me know you're tailing. Other than that, would appreciate if you could just give the video a like, and then of course subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. But that is all I got for you. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.